asking, is it over? We're back with our panel, and we also have with us joining the conversation is weight-neutral doctor, Dr. Myra Gordon, who wrote NPR article, I Try to Be a Body Positivity Doctor. It's getting harder in the age of Ozempic. Please welcome Dr. Myra Gordon to the studio. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Are these GLP-1s to blame for the backlash on body positivity? You wrote the article.
You know, I wrote the article in 2023, and my thinking has evolved since then. Yeah, I think.
Well, take me to what you were thinking then.
Well, I think we saw a huge rush of people coming in, sort of assuming that body size was a medical issue, right? That my body's too big, this is a medical problem that immediately needs to be solved with a medication. And I think that can distract from bigger, more holistic conversations about what it means to be healthy, right? And body size might be part of that discussion for some patients, but I think for a lot of people, it's so much broader. And when we narrowly focus on body size, it distracts from a discussion about sleep, a discussion about stress, a discussion about access to healthy foods and safe places to move our bodies, right? So I think it can be a piece of the puzzle, but it's absolutely not the only one.
Is that, you know, and that's an interesting thing because to your point, sleep, stress, all of those things, is it that weight is easier to talk about? Because how do you reconcile that weight became the target?
You know, I've been a primary care doctor for about 10 years, and I think weight has just people conceptualize a visit to the doctor's office as the place where they go to get yelled at about their body size, right?
Yeah, right,
and
because it starts even when you go into your pediatrician as a child. Your kid walks in, they track the weight, they track the height. It's not new, and it starts when you start going into your pediatrician's office.
Totally, and I think that we can trace so many patterns of disordered eating to a comment from the pediatrician, right? I'm a family doctor, I take care of children, right? And I tread very carefully when I talk to families with young children who are on, you know, above the 99th percentile on the weight chart, right?
So how do you talk to a family when they're...
I mean, so first I try to get to know the family, right? So I love being a primary care doctor because I get to have longitudinal relationships with my families, right? So hopefully I've gotten to know them over time. So it's not the first conversation that we're having the first time they show up to my office, right? And honestly, I have this conversation about the skinny kids too. What are you eating for dinner? What's your favorite vegetable? That's a question I love to ask kids, right? We all should be having those conversations regardless of our body size, but I think people have come to hear it as you should make your body smaller, right? And I think of it more as like, how do we engage the whole family in these kind of healthy behaviors rather than shaming a young child to make their body smaller in a way that can have really lasting ramifications.
Which, I mean, is exactly, Tess, what your book is still, I mean, you're not backing down.
No.
Right? You have not backed down. Your book about body positivity talks to the next generation. Have there been days where you have felt like giving up?
Yes.
Really?
After your show, I mean, that was really hard, having so much backlash talking about having disordered eating. And part of why I wrote Take Up Space, y'all, there's a section where we talk about disordered eating, and I actually have a nutritionist in there. And there's a ton of research showing why it's important to have these conversations with our children and with our youth young, especially with the rise of disordered eating. And it does, sometimes you're like, why do I even bother? But then I get to have moments like this and, you know, share community with people that understand that this is a real issue that needs to be fixed, and we can't do anything about it by just sweeping it under the rug. We have to talk about it.
We have to talk about it. We have to talk about it. Have you reconciled with your fans, especially those who were the harshest about your weight loss, or have you just said, don't follow me, move on?
So I'm real unapologetic. I'll tell anybody, if I may not be your cup of tea, don't sip it. Like that's. I am very, very unapologetic about who I am. And I wanted to say to Myra, like, I feel like the doctors, fat women going to the doctor, it is the most hurtful thing you will ever experience.
Annie Joy, you know, when you were on social media going through that skinny talk, which again, I have to emphasize, has since been banned from TikTok, it got in, you're a reporter, and it got in your head, and you said something to the effect of, listen, we know that when you walk into an interview or when you're going out dating, weight still plays a part in how the world processes you.
Yes, and I think that's where, like, the body positivity movement, I think it helped. And, when I was in my journey kind of going through this skinny talk down this rabbit hole, I realized, I was asking friends, they were all seeing it. We were all kind of in this together. And I went to my editor when I was writing this piece, and I was like, I lost 4 pounds.
Wow.
On these, I wasn't trying to lose weight, to be clear.
But it infiltrated your mind.
The sayings, the Kate Moss classic, nothing tastes as good as skinny feels, or you're not a dog, don't reward yourself with food. Mm-hmm. It was very like mean girl mantras. And I have 2 perfect nieces. They're 4 and 6. And I looked at them when I was like doing this research on this article, and I was like, there is no way I play any part in letting them grow up in a world like I grew up in the early 2000s, where they think I should shrink myself. I never want them to come across that video or see some skinny mean girl yelling at them on their phone,
Well, that's why the body positivity movement will never be over.
Yeah.
Because people like Tess and Maui and people like you, and hopefully this show and our audience remind people this was never about encouraging people to be healthy. It was always and is about encouraging people to love yourself. That's what the movement is about. And Doctor, I appreciate you. Maui, Tess, Annie Joy, Dr. Myra Gordon. You can go to their social media. Maui's devotional book, Great Her Is She, will be out in Thanksgiving. You can come back on the show Thanksgiving. I'd love to have you. Right. And don't forget to check out Tess's new book. I have it in my hand. It's called Take Up Space, Y'all. It's a guidebook for teens on body positivity. Everyone in the audience is going home with a copy of Tess's book. We'll be right back.
Coming up, the reality show that turned weight loss into primetime entertainment. Now facing backlash after a Netflix documentary takes viewers behind the scenes.
The shame being a failure after being a success.
One of the biggest losers, biggest winners is here after the break.
Are y'all ready for the show? Join the Tamron Hall Show audience. Go to TamronHallShow.com. Welcome to the Tamron Hall Show.